Ferritin is the most sensitive marker for your body's iron reserves. Yet, millions of people are walking around with low levels, even though their blood iron looks totally normal. How are you supposed to restore your energy and stop the hair loss when your stash is empty? Especially when your doctor tells you everything is fine, but you're still struggling to get out of bed? Today, I'm showing you the real reasons for low ferritin and exactly how to fix it. My name is Dr. Kate, and I've been helping people get to the root cause of low ferritin for over 15 years. I've seen firsthand how life-changing it is when you finally stop chasing symptoms and start addressing your actual iron reserves. But before we look at the why of low ferritin, we have to look at the signs you might be missing. Let's start with the symptoms that most people, and even some doctors, completely overlook. Low ferritin is alarmingly common, but what's even more alarming are the widespread consequences of having empty iron stores. According to major international studies, nearly 1.2 billion people suffer from iron deficiency anemia. That's when iron levels are so low, they actually affect your hemoglobin. But here's the kicker. At least twice that many people have low ferritin without being anemic yet. We call this latent iron depletion. You aren't sick enough for a standard blood test to flag it, but you are definitely symptomatic. If you've been feeling off, check this list. First, hair loss. This is one of the biggest complaints I see in my clients. If your hair is thinning or falling out in clumps, your body might be diverting iron away from your non-essential hair follicles to keep your vital organs running, and it's nearly impossible to grow back without adequate ferritin. Second, the heavy fatigue. This isn't just being tired from a late night. This is chronic weakness, headaches, and dizziness. If you feel like you're walking through mud every day, ferritin is the first thing you need to check. Third, brain function. I'm talking about anxiety, depression, poor focus, and lack of recall. I once had a client whose chronic anxiety almost completely resolved once we got her ferritin into the optimal range. Your brain is incredibly sensitive to iron depletion. Finally, thyroid problems. If you have cold hands, constipation, weight gain, or a puffy face, your thyroid might be the victim. Iron is a crucial key that unlocks the conversion of your inactive T4 hormone into the active T3 hormone that your body can actually use. Without iron, your thyroid is essentially stuck in neutral. Before we jump to the causes, we need to understand what ferritin actually is. Think of iron like cash. You need it to buy things, like oxygen for your cells and energy for your muscles. But free iron is actually toxic to your cells. You can't just have loose cash floating around everywhere. It's dangerous. That's where ferritin comes in. Ferritin is like the safety deposit box for your iron cash. It's a protein that stores iron safely in your cells and releases it only when your body needs it. When we measure your blood ferritin, we aren't measuring how much iron is currently in your pocket to spend. We're measuring your backup stash in the bank. Here's the problem. Most doctors only check your serum iron. That's like checking your pocket and seeing $20 and saying, "You're rich." Meanwhile, your bank account is overdrawn and your rent is due. You can have a normal iron level today, but if your ferritin is low, you are one bill away from a total system crash. The first reason for low ferritin is simple. You aren't eating enough bioavailable iron. There are two main forms of iron, heme and non-heme. Animal-based foods like meat, shellfish, and eggs have both. Plants only have non-heme iron. Now, here's the science. Heme iron is absorbed at a rate of up to 30%. Non-heme iron, only about 2 to 10%. This is why my vegan, vegetarian, and plant-based friends have to be so intentional. You can eat a mountain of spinach, but your body might only grab a tiny fraction of that iron. Even when you do eat meat, the modern processed diet is very nutrient poor. If you're filling up on ultra-processed foods, you're missing the organ meats, clams, and oysters that our ancestors relied on for deep iron stores. And let's be honest, once you're already in a ferritin hole, it's very difficult to dig yourself out using diet alone. You'd have to eat a ridiculous amount of steak every single day just to move the needle. The second reason is poor absorption. You can eat all the iron in the world, but if your gut can't take it in, that iron is just going to pass right through you and cause constipation. The biggest culprit here? Low stomach acid. Iron requires a very acidic environment to be absorbed. If you're taking acid blockers, things like Tums, Pepcid, or Prilosec, you're essentially shutting down your iron intake. Many people stay on these meds for years, never realizing they're slowly draining their iron reserves. Then there is H. pylori. This is a common bacterium that infects about 60% of the world's population. It causes inflammation in the stomach lining and can actually steal your iron for its own survival. If you've been taking iron supplements and your levels aren't moving, you don't have an iron problem, you have a gut problem. You have to fix the environment before the supplement can do its job. Here's some good news. You don't have to guess if your digestive enzymes are working or if H. pylori is stealing your iron. You can test for it using an at-home functional stool test, and I'll even help you interpret your results and come up with a plan to address what you find. I'll put more info and a link to order your kit in the video description. The third reason is what I call the leaky bucket. This is increased iron loss. A healthy adult loses about 1 milligram of iron every day naturally, but for menstruating women, that number jumps significantly. A heavy period can cost you an extra 20 to 60 milligrams of iron every single month. Over years, that monthly withdrawal without a big enough deposit leads to total bankruptcy. I see this constantly in women who have struggled with heavy cycles for decades. They just assume being exhausted is part of being a woman. It's not. It's low ferritin. But it's not just because of periods. Athletic training, especially long-distance running, can cause iron loss through something called foot strike hemolysis. Every time your foot hits the pavement, you're actually breaking down a tiny amount of red blood cells. Even common over-the-counter meds like ibuprofen or aspirin can cause microscopic bleeding in the gut lining. It's not enough to see, but it's enough to drain your ferritin over time. If you suspect low ferritin, you need to get tested, but you have to be specific. If you just ask for an iron test, you'll likely get serum iron. You must explicitly ask for serum ferritin. When you get your results back, don't look at the normal range. The lab's normal range is based on a bell curve of the general population, and the general population is tired and sick. For my male patients, I like to see optimized levels between 70 and 300. For females, 70 to 150. However, if you have a thyroid condition, that floor moves up. I don't like to see levels much below 100 if we're trying to support your thyroid. If your doctor won't order these tests for you, I've put a link in the description where you can order your own ferritin and iron labs directly. Don't take no for an answer when it comes to your data. So how do we fix low ferritin? I use a 3-pronged functional medicine approach. First, choose the right supplement. Stop using ferrous sulfate. It's the most common iron prescribed, but it's poorly absorbed and causes terrible constipation. Instead, look for a chelated iron, like iron bisglycinate. It's much gentler on the stomach. I've linked my favorite professional-grade, stomach-friendly iron in the free checklist, so you can see exactly what I recommend to my clients. And when you order it through my full script, you'll get a nice surprise. Second, the doorman strategy. I call certain probiotics micronutrient doormen, specifically the strain Lactobacillus plantarum. Studies have shown that this specific bacteria can increase iron absorption by up to 50%. It helps ease the iron through the intestinal wall. Third, cofactors. Iron doesn't work alone. It needs vitamin C to be absorbed, and it needs B vitamins to be utilized. Taking your iron with a vitamin C supplement or even a squeeze of lemon juice can make a massive difference. I hope this helps you realize that your symptoms aren't all in your head. There is a biological reason why you feel this way. If you're ready to stop guessing and start building your iron reserves, I've put together a free ferritin boosting checklist for you. It covers the exact lab ranges we talked about today, functional stool testing for H. pylori, and the specific professional grade supplements that I use with my clients. You can grab that at the link right down in the description below. Be sure to check out the other resources in the description, including the functional labs, if you want to test your own levels. If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe. That helps me get this information to more people who are struggling just like you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.